It's Wednesday, February 14th, 2018. And welcome to Vanran10 on sports. So, I try very hard not to talk too much about Lavar Ball. I'm not a fan. I don't like him. I don't think he's the greatest parent in the universe, but I try to keep it where I more talk about the positives of Lonzo instead of the negatives of Lavar. But this most recent little thing where he said if the Lakers don't sign LaMelo and LiAngelo, he will have his son Lonzo not re-sign with the Lakers. Now, first off, Lonzo's got 3 more years on this contract. So this is a long way down the road. Now, this is why I kind of titled this video Lavar Ball, Bad Dad, or Media Whiz. Now, here's the thing. I know that Lavar Ball knows that the Lakers have Lonzo for 3 more years. Doesn't matter what happens with LiAngelo or LaMelo. For the next 3 years, Lonzo Ball is their player. So, unless somehow that changes, which I don't see it, I see the contract staying the same. Unless the, players' agreement changes, he's a Laker for the next 3 years, unless traded. There's nothing that says that the Lakers have to sign LaMelo and LiAngelo. LaMelo and LiAngelo are not slated to be as good as Lonzo. Lonzo is being looked at as the best of the brothers. So why does LaVar make this statement? Why does he say this? Why does he make this, basically give this ultimatum to Magic Johnson and the Lakers? Basically, a franchise that is worth $2-3 billion. I mean, what's it worth? I mean, it's worth billions. I'm probably way underestimating that. I think, no, maybe not, because I think $4 billion is what the Dallas Cowboys are worth, $4 or $5 billion, and they're the most expensive. I think the Lakers are $2-3 billion is what they're worth. They're a very, 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 very highly, priced franchise. So is LaVar Ball saying all this just for media attention? Is he saying all this because he's stuck over there in Lithuania with his other 2 kids, and nobody's really been talking about LaVar for the last couple of weeks? Nobody said a word. Lonzo's been injured. Remember, I did a video a little while ago saying, is Lonzo going to get sacked the rest of the season just so they can kind of save him? He's still not playing. Ingram is playing really, really well at the point guard position. Ingram is playing incredibly good. Kuzma is playing better than they thought. So it kind of makes Lonzo a little bit more, I don't want to say expendable, but I guess that is the word. It makes him expendable. You could trade him for picks, trade him to another team, and then see what you can get for him. Here's a problem. I think LaVar Ball knows. This is why I say he's a little bit of a media whiz. I think he knows the Lakers can't trade Lonzo because nobody wants LaVar around. How do you trade Lonzo somewhere else when basically LaVar is saying these terrible things right now about my kid isn't going to play? It's like Lonzo's not going to play for the Lakers unless LiAngelo and LaMelo do. You think you can trade him? No. Who are you going to trade him to? Who are you going to trade Lonzo Ball to if now the next team you trade him to has that hanging over their head? What, is he going to say, well, Lonzo won't re-sign with the Milwaukee Bucks unless the Lakers sign my other 2 sons? It doesn't really work, right? But is LaVar going to say something like, well, if my 2 sons don't get to play for the Phoenix Suns, then, I mean, you're taking him out of LA and putting him somewhere else, but how does that work? LaVar Ball can make the same statement and say, if my 2 sons don't get to play for your NBA franchise, Lonzo won't re-sign with you. Basically, Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo are the 3, you have to take them as a trio. So is he is he actually kind of a little bit of a whiz here with the media? He understands that nobody wants LaVar around. So he's made this ultimatum to the Lakers. Well, what says he doesn't make this ultimatum to the Jazz, to the Nuggets, to the Spurs, to the Bulls, to the to any team that the Warriors aren't going to take him. They got plenty of people. But there's, what stops those teams? What makes them say, yeah, give us Lonzo. Yeah, we want the headache of Lavar Ball. We want to have to deal with him. Who wants that? Who's going to give up picks or other players for Lonzo to deal with that? You got to tell me who. Lonzo's already a Laker. Where do you dump Lonzo to get something for him? Who's going to take him? Who wants LaVar? LaVar knows this. LaVar knows that no other team is going to want Lonzo Ball because they're not going to want the headache of LaVar Ball. So that's a little bit of why I think maybe he might be onto something. I think LaVar has always played the media. He's always played the media. If anybody else on the planet says, I could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one, you just kind of shrug your shoulders and go, no, you can't. And then you walk away from them because they're stupid. LaVar Ball says it, and for some reason it's posted all over social media, and people are asking him about it on TV shows and interviewing him about it. Why? So I think LaVar plays the media, and I think the media falls for a lot of what he does. There's a part of me that thinks he is kind of a mad scientist with the media. He understands. You have to know that he's not an idiot. I call him stupid because of some of the things he does, and I might call him an idiot because some of the things I think he does are idiotic. But maybe he's crazy like a fox. Maybe he knows that all the stuff that he says will lead him to the place where he wants his sons to be. Now, maybe it never will, and this is all just some crazy image and little thing he's concocted in his brain. But he's made the media listen to him. I guess he might have played in the NBA. I don't ever remember him in the NBA, and so he couldn't have been a player of any consequence. But he has 3 sons that all got scholarships to UCLA. Not bad. I mean, UCLA is not a slouch school by any stretch of the imagination. Lonzo is now an NBA player who I believed, if he would have stayed healthy, would have been the Rookie of the Year. I think he was just that good. Yeah, his shooting wasn't the greatest, but it was starting to come around a little bit. And a very good rebounder, very good passer, and a good defensive player too. You like seeing that in a young kid. But now we're kind of looking at, you can't trade Lonzo because nobody else wants the headache of LaVar. And LaVar knows that. LaVar knows that there are tons of people out there that hate his guts. So he can make that statement knowing, it's like, who you going to trade Lonzo to? You got to tell me who's going to take him. Because if whoever takes Lonzo, I go with him. I'm coming. I'm going to be the guy on social media criticizing your coach, criticizing the GM for not making the right moves, criticizing players who I don't think are playing up to the standard of my son, and I'm still going to make the same silly ultimatum that says if you don't sign my sons, then Lonzo's not signing with you. Now, I think it's a bluff, because ultimately Lonzo is a man, and Lonzo will at some point go, my name goes on the contract, Dad. I'm the one that signs it. I'm the one that plays. And if I want to continue to play for the Lakers, I'm going to play for the Lakers. Because you got to remember, this happens in 3 years. A lot can happen in 3 years. And Lonzo may get fed up with all of this. And he may man up and just tell his dad to shut up and stay out of his way. So I call LaVar a bad dad for this reason. He's trying to take the spotlight from his sons, and he's putting his sons in bad positions. This is not a good position to put Lonzo in. Whether he's playing the media or not, whether this is crazy like a fox genius type stuff that LaVar is doing maybe, and maybe I'm giving him way, way too much credit, but I'm trying to figure out the reason why he would say such a stupid thing. And it might be that he is just crazy. He's just crazy and just knows enough to pull this off. Knows how to manipulate the media. But he's making things tough for his son. He's going to make things tough for his other two sons. If they were to make it to the NBA, he would make it tough on them as well. That's why he's a bad dad. He's making their lives tougher, and he doesn't have to. As a father, you should be trying to you should teach them hard lessons, but not make their lives tougher to do it. You shouldn't sit there and punish them by turning the world against them just to see what kind of a man they might turn into. A lot of other great men have become great men, and their fathers were just supportive, stayed in the background, said, "Good job, son, keep it up." Not, "I'm telling you, you're not signing with the Lakers. I'm telling you that you're going to be better than every other player, and I'm going to blurt it out to everybody. I'm going to make your life miserable by becoming a menace in social media and making other players in the NBA hate you." Because remember, early on, everybody felt like they had to give their best against Lonzo Ball and make his life miserable and play tough defense on him, slam him around, all because his dad was talking smack. You know, he keeps writing checks, Lavar keeps writing checks that Lonzo's butt has to cash. It's not right. If you're a father, you should be looking out for your son, not punishing your son, not making their lives miserable. Now, is Lonzo's life miserable? He's a millionaire and he plays NBA basketball. I'm guessing probably not. But his life could be a little bit easier if dad would just kind of shut up. Leave him alone. Root your son on. Don't make things tough for him. And you're making things tough for the other two kids. The other two kids may not even be NBA caliber. LaMelo, they're saying he might ride the bench constantly, but LiAngelo could be maybe a talented enough player to make, maybe a starting lineup or at least be a sixth or seventh guy off the bench. No reason to make everybody hate them. Because now no franchises are going to want to sign LaMelo or LiAngelo because they're not going to want the headache of Lavar. So you have to hitch your wagon to the Lakers and hope that they sign your other two kids. If I'm Magic Johnson, I'm going to take a look at those two kids and make sure that they're not worthy of being on my team. And the thing is, I'm not going to draft either one. You know why? Because nobody else is going to draft him either. So it'll be one of those things like, yeah, I'll bring him in, but I'm going to bring him in under a rookie free agent contract. And they're going to have to sing for their supper. And they're not going to get a whole lot of money. And if they're talented enough, I'll bring them in. Because maybe LiAngelo turns out to be good enough. Nobody in the NBA drafts him. And the Lakers, he just goes into the Lakers as an undrafted free agent rookie. And maybe you have another solid piece of the puzzle. You've already got the headache of Lavar anyway, so why not put LiAngelo if he can play? Maybe he comes off the bench and he plays pretty well for you. Maybe he gives you 20 minutes a game, scores 15 points, gets you a few assists. Why not? There's nothing wrong with giving a rookie free agent contract. That's not that expensive. And you might have a pretty decent player. So maybe Magic's not saying anything yet because he goes, let me see if these kids are worth it. Because I know nobody else in the NBA is going to draft them. So I might be able to get them for a steal. Because I don't have to draft them either. And I can just sit there and go, all right, Lavar, bring them in. Let me see what they can do. And then he says, no, I like LiAngelo. Maybe I'll make LaMelo a manager, ball boy. He'll be the 15th guy on the bench. We really don't need that 15th guy anyways. Or maybe we'll sit there and give him a D-League contract just to kind of sit there and go, he needs a little bit of seasoning and then we'll bring him up later. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Lavar is just a bad dad who's making his son's lives miserable? Or do you think maybe there's something to the fact that he might just know how to play this game and he's playing it a little bit better than we think he is? I'm hoping he's not making his kid's life miserable without some grand plan that works. So, with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.